into news across the galaxy where they talk all things LA Galaxy with the Nag Boys. Let's start nagging.
Welcome to News Across the Galaxy, where we talk all things LA Galaxy. I'm your host, Bryant Lobos, and my co-host is with me, as always, Mr. Edgar Zuniga. How you doing today, sir?
I'm all right, man. I'm trying to end my weekend on a good note by watching the LA Kings take on the Oilers, and so far it's not looking so good because this has been a pretty shitty weekend.
Yeah,
But as far as sports is concerned,
yeah. Of course.
everything else has been good. So
And of course, on the ones and twos, Mr. Chuy. I don't know if he wants to say hi.
Hey, what up?
I'm a little under the weather, but I'm here. We're gonna try our best to get through this match because it was a very disappointing match. But before we get into the match, let's start with something light. Shout out to all the road warriors that went out to Austin to watch this game. I know one of our very own, Nag Boy, is he went out there. He came home last night. So Chuy, you were out there, sir.
Oh yeah, man.
Tell us a little bit about the trip.
It was great. I decided to do a 1-day trip, right? I was like, I want to sleep in my own bed. I wanna feel like the Galaxy, right? They travel someplace and they come back the same day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I left LA at midnight on Friday night, right, to Saturday. Got to Austin after a couple of hours. So over there was like 8 a.m. when I got to Austin. Rented a car. Went to go get some barbecue because, unlike Brian when he goes to Texas, you're supposed to eat some good barbecue. At 9 a.m. Found a good spot. Ate. It was awesome. And then
breakfast of champs.
Hell yeah, bro. You're supposed to eat meat in the morning so it can digest throughout the day. Hell yeah, man. Went to the stadium, met up with a couple of fellow G's. One of the things that was pretty awesome is there was a good amount of G's out there that don't even live in LA, right? There's a lot of Texas G's. There's a lot of G's around, Texas that live over there, and they try to go to these away games because that's probably the closest or the cheapest, right, that they're going to be able to see the Galaxy without having to fly to LA. So that was pretty awesome. Hung out with them, hung out with a lot of people, and then watched the shit show of a game.
Like, I know I like to kind of look at away stadiums, and when I do go to an away, I try to walk around a little bit to see what I see and see if I like it. In comparison to what we have at the Digs, how is that Q2 stadium?
Well, I mean, it's new, right? It's modern. It was finalized about 4 or 5 years ago, I want to say. It's very new. It's nice. It's very open, right? It's a very open stadium. Not that much different from the Galaxy Stadium, but it is steeper. Most of us heavy duty or heavy set, Galaxy fans that were out there, man, that walk up, made you buy more than 2 beers at a time. You didn't want to be doing that walk every little while, right? Climbing up those stairs, but it was cool. Like I said, it's a modern stadium. It's nice. It's newer. I like it. I mean, as it is, I like going to Texas. I like going back home from time to time. So, but the stadium is really nice. It's like the Digs, right? There's no bad view for wherever you sit. Where they put us, the one thing I was happy about was that, well, for starters, it was humid as hell, but there was a lot of wind, right? There was a lot of wind, so that helped a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Good shit, Chuy. I hope you had fun. Well, not watching the LA Galaxy, but I hope you enjoy the city, sir.
Nah, yeah, it was awesome, and I caught up with a couple of friends that live in Austin. couple of people that like I grew up with, so that was pretty cool to see them again for a little while. After the game, we went to go eat. We went to Gus's world famous chicken. I believe they opened one here in LA or around the Southern California area. I'm not sure where, but I believe they opened one already. But yeah, going to that little shack over there is awesome.
I also understand that you got a chance to meet the guys from We Are Awesome TV.
Hell yeah, man! After the match, I wanted to try to find them, and it was funny because the area where they told us to get out from, right, to exit, was the main entrance, and these guys were up and doing interviews right in the main entrance. I got to say hi and have a quick chat with the dad of Cerillo. Both his parents were there at the game. As you know, we got him from Dallas, right? He was an acquisition from Dallas. He's born and raised in Texas. So yeah, his parents were there. Fagundes' family was there. They were actually right next to where I was at. I waited and talked to the guys from We Are Austin TV. I also hung out a little bit and chatted with the guys from Cuna Galaxiana. They were both there, so it was pretty awesome. Just a little a convention of pods for a little while, just talking. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. Actually, I was about to ask you something, but I totally forgot, so that's on me. But it was something about
his.
yeah, dude. Nah, the whatever it is I have, because I have like congested lungs right now, it's making me like really dizzy. So yeah, I forget a lot of stuff right now. Anyway,
there's a pretty cool picture that the guys took from We Are Austin TV on their Twitter or X, whatever it's called. Pretty cool. It's up there. I think we retweeted it right on our nag, and I retweeted it too on my personal. These guys are cool as hell, and that's one thing that is pretty awesome. And I don't really come out on the pods, right? I don't really. Most of the people that know me as just the producer. That guy doesn't come out, but they know my name, right? They just don't know who I am until they meet me, and then it's pretty cool. And those guys pretty much knew who I was, just never knew who I was. So that was cool when I told them who I was. It was all love and being part of a community of pods, man. It's pretty awesome. Just it's pretty fucking awesome, man, to go someplace and they know Nag and they know about you, and it's cool to meet up with people. It's pretty fucking great, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Go ahead, Edgar.
No, I was gonna say I love it. To me, it reminds me a lot of being in the Greek system. A lot of people, I don't know if you know, I was in a fraternity in college, and it kind of reminds me of the same thing where wherever there's a city that has like a pod that you're in contact with, you got some homies to hang out with, maybe even crash with them, if you're lucky. But yeah, we've been very fortunate to meet a lot of great people through these podcasts.
Yeah, and it's one of my favorite things about the midweek shows. We get to talk to other people from around the league and kind of see their perspective, and they get to see ours. Anyway,
do we have to talk about the game?
We'll delay it as much as we can because we're going to be on Emiro Watch right now. I'm guessing he's not here yet due to visas. As soon as we get detailed information with that, we'll let you guys know. But for now, that's my guess. Any guesses, Edgar?
I'm just a little perplexed because one of the first things that we heard when his name came up was that the front office had scrambled to make sure all his visa stuff was in order. So that's one of the things that I remember talking about was, oh, this guy is going to come in a loan to buy a deal, and the front office has already gone ahead and worked out his whole visa stuff. And it's been 3 weeks now, and we still haven't seen a sniff of this guy. I know some G's are probably waiting to go greet him at the airport, which is always a really nice thing that we do out here. So just looking forward to having him come in because, this team needs a lot of help at the front and at the back right now. And we saw how much help we need at the back in this last game because, those 2 goals that Austin scored, man, our center backs got cooked, man.
Well, we'll get into it. So we'll keep an ear to to the streets, as they say, to see when Emiro can actually come in and what the details are with that. All right. The LA Galaxy go to Austin, Texas to Q2. Is it Q2?
Q2.
To Q2 Park or whatever. Whatever. I hate they say.
Q2 Stadium.
And to take on I just said Austin C. All right. I'm tripping right now.
You okay, man?
It's probably the medicine right now, dude, to be honest.
All right.
Anyway, I can do it. To take on Austin FC. Before the match, these two teams came in different positions in the table. The LA Galaxy, of course, was coming into this match as first place. And Austin was going to be home after a great defeat over Houston. So where did it go wrong? All right. Let's go with the starting lineup. Unless you want to say anything before the starting lineup.
No. I mean, I already had said what I had to say in the midweek. So,
all right. In the back, John McCarthy. Our two center backs, Martin Cáceres and Maya Yoshida. Out right, Mickey Yamane. Out left, Julian Alde. In the midfield, Brugman Delgado and Ricky Puig. Out left, Gabriel Peck. Out right, Joseph Painsil. And up top, no Dejan Jovic. No. Or maybe Fagundes in there. But one, Miguel Berry started this match. Edgar, your initial thoughts as soon as you seen this lineup.
You just saw it. That was my initial reaction. Like when I saw Miguel Berry. First I heard about the Dejan Jovic thing early in the morning. That's the first thing I saw. I got up in the morning, and like a lot of us do it. You look at your phone to catch up on the news. The first thing I see is like Dejan's out with a thigh injury. I'm like, oh God, no. And I tweeted a message including Hernan from Austin FC TV, and I was like, that prediction I made, because I predicted a 1-1 draw, and that was me being generous. By the way, I knew 100% we were not going to win this game, so I was being generous. I said 1-1 draw, and I said, all those odds I talked about, about the ref and the start time, and just the fact that we're missing all these players, and then you see Jovic is out. It's like, damn it, it's like adding another log to the fire.
Yep.
So
that's exactly
I
what
was
it
like,
was.
yeah, man, your prediction looks like your prediction is going to come out to be pretty accurate. And yeah, he was almost right, except that the Galaxy could not score. And let's be honest, man, we try to be as fair as possible to our players because they're our guys. But if you can't get the job done, you got to get called out. And sorry, Miguel Berry, he's had his opportunities to come in, and I heard somewhere that he's logged in like 422 minutes or something like that, and nothing at all. So whatever he did in the offseason, that's the offseason. I mean, in the preseason, but now when it really, really, really counts, nothing. And Brett, didn't the Scarps and Spice guys warn us?
Yeah, they did. They gave us a 4-year warning that not to be too enamored with this guy in the beginning. And he did not, because I also want to be fair with him. Before this lineup came out, I was of the thought that maybe you should have started Fagundes. You saw in the second half that sub went in and you had Painsil up top. Why couldn't you start with that? My preference was the Fagundes start, but it didn't happen. Okay. In these situations, Vanny's giving trust to his guys. Miguel Berry is one of his guys. You got to give him that confidence because right now we don't have anybody else. And I think this is a big position, probably not the most important, but a key position that we need to upgrade in. Well, not upgrade, but at least the bench. So maybe that was Vanny's thought, get him some confidence. Maybe he could get one in out of nowhere. You have Peck, Painsil, and Puig. Your 3Ps are still in there. So, I would have thought that was his thought. But when the match started, there was nothing that the LA Galaxy was doing to relieve pressure from themselves. It felt that right out the gate, Austin came in and started bullying the LA Galaxy. They started
Yeah.
pressing them. And then the counters in that first goal, it was our aging center backs. You saw that they can't keep up with these speedier forwards, and Rubio put one in the back of the net pretty early. Took less than 10 minutes
Well,
to get one there.
yeah. Well, the whole thing started with like
Yeah,
a turnover by Mark Delgado. I think he was trying to get the ball to Miki Yamane, but Yamane was getting up after a collision with Diego Rubio, I believe. And so he wasn't. I don't know if it was Diego Rubio, but he was on the ground, and Yamane couldn't get to the ball. And Austin got the ball, and they sent it to the top of the 18, where Gossett is. I was hoping he would step up and try to at least make it difficult for the pass, but no, the pass got slotted past him. And if you go back and you look at the replay, Maya Yoshida did not react in time. And by the time he actually got moving, at that point, it was too late. Diego Rubio found some space, took a shot, golazo.
yeah.
Well, not a golazo, but no, goal.
It
And
was a solid finish. Solid
a
finish.
solid finish. And this is just what Austin needed, because Galaxy was hoping that they could come in and make it a struggle for them and maybe get a goal on a set piece. And alas, after all this talk we had about Galaxy giving up all these goals and set pieces, they were undone by a goal that was in the run of play. And so right there, boom, you're behind 1-0. And Austin, you can't fault them, right? They're gonna push Galaxy to make something happen. So they're gonna sit in the low block, but it didn't take very long for them to double their lead.
Yeah.
Man.
And again, it comes to the one player that started this game, Miguel Berry. That slide tackle for Alex Green to recover that ball. It's a beautiful tackle.
Yeah.
But what can, in that position, what can Miguel Berry do for him not to get that ball taken away from him?
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't think he had much of a much time to really react, because
That's what I was
Galaxy got the ball in the tournament and then give it to him. And this guy literally like took 2 steps and then boom! What a beautiful tackle, right?
tackle, yeah.
By Ring. And immediately they just sent the ball back on the counter. And once again, Maya Yoshida cut out of position. He's like chugging back, and he was not going to catch Jader O'Brien, who just picked the spot to the far post. Another nice goal, by the way, because it went off the post. We give John McCarthy a lot of credit for stopping some very difficult shots, but this is one that he was not going to get, because, I mean, the other thing, it hit the post. What a nice carry off the post into the net. And at that point, Austin's flying high. Galaxy, I don't think these guys, I think, their bed covers are still stuck to them. I don't know if you heard that before in Espanol.
Yeah.
But they hadn't had their coffee or whatever. They needed to have the same breakfast that Chuy had, because these guys were still knocked out, man. I think they were still trying to wake up in LA. Obviously, if you don't mind me just going a little bit more on this, one of the things I talked about in the midweek show, that I talked about how the odds were stacked against the LA Galaxy. So that's why I didn't expect them to win. One of the things I said was, historically, LA Galaxy has had a really rough time with early starts, whether it is in Central Time or in the East Coast, especially in the East Coast. So this is like a 10 a.m. start for them, pretty much, like 10:45, whatever. And yeah, and like Chuy said, it was humid, like really humid. If you've ever been that part of the country this time of the year, man, it gets disgusting. It's like that kind of humidity where you're sitting in the shadows and you're just sweating buckets. And so I'm sure a lot of these guys aren't used to that, because they're so used to this beautiful Southern California weather that we have, where it's nice and dry. Yeah, man. Chuy can tell you, Chuy, did they look like they were ready to play an MLS game on Saturday morning?
Oh, hell no, man. Even from the pre warm up, like their pre warm up thing that they do, shooting into the net was horrible. For like the 5 or 8 minutes that they were shooting, only 2 balls went in. Everything was way off. Yeah, it was bad. Their warm ups looked pretty bad, to be honest.
Damn, even from the warm up.
Damn.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
well. It showed on the pitch. Um, there was opportunities in that first half that I think the LA Galaxy probably could have put one behind the net. One, I think Austin FC did great to swarm the LA Galaxy in the box. There was a couple plays in the box where one of them in particular where Paint still got between two players and he shot it, but when he shot it, there was like two players already in front of him. So they were doing a pretty good job swarming our attack. Granted, it doesn't help that when you have a less mobile forward than what you're used to, that you're going to get anything to open up for you. And that was the case in this half. And not just this half. Well, the second half was different. But in the first half, it was really bad.
Yeah.
I still didn't lose hope. 2-0 is usually that tricky score that you could really come back from. And knowing that the LA Galaxy have a high-powered offense, and you still have Fagundes coming off the bench. I mean, it was clear and obvious that was going to be the substitution at the half. Even then, now you're going to put in another more mobile, dynamic player in there, and you can probably create a little bit more chaos. So I wasn't too worried going into the second half. Were you?
Yeah, the difficulty in that, though, and it's something that we discussed with Chuy before we came on, is that you give a team like Austin a 2-0 lead, and they're just going to sit back and watch you trip over yourself, trying to figure out your own offense. And with Miguel Berry, especially in that first half, obviously he only played 45 minutes, but with Miguel Berry there was nothing. There was absolutely nothing. You'll hear us and other Galaxy fans also joke about how Deion will disappear for long stretches of the game, only to show up out of the blue and maybe get a shot on goal or dish it off to one of his teammates or even score a goal, right? But with Miguel Berry, there was absolutely nothing there. I don't know if they thought because he's a big body that maybe they could try to whip the ball into him, but Austin flooded the box with so many people that it was trying to like knock down an apple in the middle of a forest from like 100 yards away or something. It's a very difficult task. And Miguel Berry, I think even if they got the ball to him, I don't think he would have been able to just turn around and knock it into the net. He's just not that type of player. I do remember this, and I'll repeat it once more. When we were talking to Tyler from Scarves and Spikes, he said that Miguel Berry is the kind of guy that is best when he's floating around the top of the 18 and you give him the ball and he has time to pick a spot and take a shot. And obviously he was not going to get that opportunity in this game at all.
Yeah. No.
So what a wasted opportunity for him and for the Galaxy.
Yeah. Well, an Austin team that also came in with a game plan and knew exactly what they were doing defensively. And you got to give Josh Wolf credit on this one. I know Vanny comes in with the hottest team in MLS, and Josh Wolf, hats off to him. He did a great job against Greg Vanny this time around. In the second half, well, like I said, Fagundes comes in, and let me give you some stats from the first half. In the first half, and this is the only one I'm going to give you, the possession. Austin had 51% of possession, the Galaxy 48%. In the second half, though, the LA Galaxy had 70% of the possession. Yeah.
It's like video game numbers.
And so, yes, there was a big difference from first and second half. But like Edgar mentioned, Austin just bunkered down defensively and left no spaces for the LA Galaxy to work. I don't think, was there any danger in that second half from the LA Galaxy that you could recall?
Not really. I think one of the closest opportunities Galaxy had to scoring a goal was at the end of the first half. Ricky Puig took a shot from outside the 18 where this was one of those rare opportunities where he gets a shot that actually finds the mark. But this time, goalkeeper for Austin FC, what's his name, Brad Stuber, he was able to get to the ball and knock it over the crossbar. And you could see the frustration on Ricky's face because if that would have gone in, it definitely would have sparked a comeback heading into the second half. But no, it wasn't to be. And even though Vanny made some adjustments in the second half that made Galaxy a little bit more dynamic
Mhm.
in their attack. It wasn't going to be enough because, like we said, Austin just bunkered down and made it really difficult. They made it very uncomfortable for the LA Galaxy to try to do anything at all. And on top of that, another thing, like we said earlier, Austin was being very aggressive. They were like
Yeah.
knocking them down, really hard fouls, shoulder to shoulder tackles, which I love, doesn't seem like much because they don't show up as yellow cards or fouls, but you get hit really hard on a 50-50 ball, you're going to feel it, and that really gets under your skin. And we've said before, LA Galaxy, they're most comfortable when they have that little bit of space where they can create, especially if somebody like Ricky Puig. But if you put a lot of pressure on him, he's going to be uncomfortable. And obviously, uh, sometimes he loses his temper and he's not feeling himself. And well, he ended up getting a yellow. And that you think to yourself, okay, it's just a yellow card, but you know what? It's 5 yellows, and what does that mean, Brian?
Yeah. And well, that was the next topic I was going to touch into. Ricky's yellow card. This means that he will not be available for the next match versus Seattle, which is another tough team. That they gave us
And
a tough time last time. Of course, they're going to want to get theirs back, but we'll get into that later on. But yeah, the LA Galaxy basically got bullied this whole game.
yeah, they got bullied. Perfect.
Yeah, and I think that's because the loss against LAFC wasn't like this one. LAFC, when they beat us, they were able to hit us on the counter, but they weren't being as physical as Austin. I think Austin did the same thing with the counter. It's just be aggressive defending us. And there goes another blueprint for the rest of the league to find out how you could beat Greg Vanny. There was an old Galaxy sighting, though. At the 71st minute, Diego Rubio comes out, and Gyiasi Zardes comes in. So it's nice to see him. That was really cool.
I was gonna say, and I don't mean to correct you or anything, but I do feel that LAFC was aggressive against the LA Galaxy because they learned that before in the past from previous experiences. That especially with Ricky Puig there, you just bug them and bug them and bug them and hit him hard and foul him until eventually he makes a mistake. And so we saw that in Vancouver as well. Vancouver was trying their best to make Galaxy uncomfortable. And one thing I did not mention, and I feel so bad I didn't say this at the time when we were discussing the Vancouver game, but you know how I was saying how in the past LA Galaxy was benefiting from injuries to keep players from the other teams?
Yeah.
Early in the first half of that Vancouver game, one of the more important players from Vancouver, Fafa Picault, he had to leave with an injury. And I spoke to our buddy Nathan Durek up there afterward, and he said that Picault is one of the most important players of the Vancouver offense. So they lost one of their better players. So that I'm sure impacted the final result. Now, flash forward to this game. Now it's us that are suffering some setbacks. Like I said, Deion's out, and the Salvadoran King wasn't there, so that made it hard for us again. And I don't mean to rain on everybody's parade because I know we were going to talk about the Seattle game, but I also heard that Deion's injury might keep him out a little bit longer.
Oof.
So
Oof.
better get those Miguel Berry jerseys ready because he's going to go off against Seattle.
Oof. We'll get to the Seattle game later, but that's something to think about. Well, I mean, nothing else really stood out in the second half. The kids came in, Perez and Cuevas. So glad to see them get some minutes. Jenny Neal had a whole half. He played a whole half. So that's also great to see.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, it's a great sighting. And actually, that's probably my greatest sighting of the day. Seeing him play gives me a lot of optimism because we're in desperate need of a little bit of pace back there. So I'm happy he's back. All right. How about we do some awards?
Yeah.
I think let's do the toughest one. Nah, we got to leave it for last, I guess, because the toughest one. So we'll start with the games off. Who do you have as your games off today? Or
I'm gonna say Maya Yoshida. I love our captain. I think he's been a steady presence in the back, but In this game, he just looked completely. I don't want to say lost. He looked like he wasn't even ready to hit the field. And first he got cooked on that first goal by Austin. He wasn't able to react in time. The player got behind him, goal. And then in the second goal, I know it was a counter. I know it was a nice pass, but it's a sad sight to see him trying to chug back and get in position to try to disrupt O'Brien on that goal, and he didn't make it in time, and so another goal. I mean, we're so used to seeing him be such a reliable player, and so at moments like this when he gets completely undressed, uh, sorry, buddy, your game was off. That's the name of the award. Game is off.
Yeah. G, you got a game is off award since you were there?
um, shit. For me, honestly, I think Ricky.
Ricky?
He after a little while, I think he got frustrated and was trying to do way too much. And I don't know if it came out on TV the same way that, we were kind of seeing it. But him getting that yellow was a stupid decision for him. Him putting himself in danger like that, it really hurts the team because now you're not there for Seattle, which Seattle should be points, right?
Should be.
Should be.
But without Ricky, I think that's gonna make it really difficult for the Galaxy. And if Jovic isn't ready, that's even worse. Yep.
Yeah. Damn. All right. Well, my game is I was going to go to a player who has been consistent for the LA Galaxy, Mark Delgado. He had a very harsh first half. Of course, one of the goals came from his turnover. But you could have gone to anybody, to be honest. You could have gave it to Peck, Paintsill, Brugman. Just the LA Galaxy wasn't sharp this time around. Not sure what it is. There's a number of factors that Edgar mentioned already, like the time, the fact that we never win with this referee, Victor Rivas.
On the road, yeah.
On the road. So it could have just been a combination of things. The boys weren't sharp. And I think that's fine. The LA Galaxy is still up top of the West. And, well, tied in first.
Yeah.
But 15 points is still a big accomplishment in these 10 matches that we've had?
18 points.
18 points. We have 15.
No, we have 18.
18. We're tied at 18.
Even better. So
the Kings lost.
There's still positives here. But yeah. Do you guys have a honorable mention? I kind of do, actually.
Because
the next one's gonna be a hard one to pick.
I do. I mean, I'll do one real quick.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Probably. Shit. Nah, straight up. I think McCarty. I think he tried very, very hard, but they were beating him on that right, that right side, left side to right. They were beating him on that ball. They did it twice to him, and that was the only ball they were able to beat him on, right? Like they tried it again, but the defense kind of caught on, so they weren't allowing that ball to go through anymore. But I think we would have been worse if McCarty wasn't on top of it, right? On top of his game, at least this game.
All right.
Yeah, I'll agree. I'll agree. Because I had on my notes, I put John McCarthy made a big save in the 59th minute, and this was an opportunity for him to try to, I guess, rectify. I don't know. I don't know if you call them mistakes because you can't really blame him. I mean, the guy was left alone to himself, and both of the shots were nice, just nice goals, right?
Yeah, they were.
But he made a nice save in the 59th minute to at least give you the impression that Galaxy was still in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you got heart, man.
Mine is gonna go to Jalen Neal just for being able to get a full half behind him. It's comeback season for him. So I love that. Now the hardest one. By the way, I think if the LA Galaxy would have scored at any point, they would have got back into the game.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. It would have switched. It would have switched dynamics a lot. Just because they were so frustrated and nothing went in. But they scored one. I think we come out with points. But they did great defensively. Anyway, the next standing player of the match in a very horrible game that everybody played. So I don't know if anybody really deserves it. But if you have one, Edgar,
Yeah, I do, man.
feel free.
I'll say Jalen Neal.
Okay.
Jalen Neal came in, didn't allow any goals in the second half. It's just really it's great to see Jalen Neal back in the Galaxy uniform and back on the field. Of course he's going to show some rust. We haven't seen him play since last summer. Think
Mhm.
about that. He played for the U.S. in the Gold Cup, and then he played, I think, in the Nations League as well, or he was on the roster, and then he got hurt. And that's the last we saw of him. I think he might have showed up for one Galaxy game, but I don't think he was there, to be honest. And he is somebody that has remained within the Galaxy consciousness, I guess you could say, because we think so highly of him, and his mom is such a presence on social media that we always have Jalen Neal on our minds. And with all the stuff, all the issues that the defense has been going through, he's somebody that we've been constantly keeping an eye on, hoping he gets back sooner than later. And it seemed like he would have been out a little bit longer, more than we already expected. And then suddenly there he is. He's down the pitch. And the funny thing was, before the game started, I actually saw a starting lineup there where he was starting, and I was like, "Oh wow, look at that! That's interesting." And then obviously it was a mistake, and it was the wrong lineup. But it's just the fact that he's back. It's very refreshing. I know it's gonna take him a while to get back, but at least seeing him there is a huge step. And hopefully in the next month or so, he's gonna go back to being the same old Jalen. And some of the issues that we've had on defense are a thing of the past, because obviously we're waiting for Garces to come in, and you have Cáceres and Yoshida, and of course the Salvadorian king himself, right?
Yeah. That's a good one. Can Jalen get 2 awards for me?
Go for it.
Nah, I'll give it to Fagundes. Kind of a homecoming for him, and I'm
Yeah.
not sure if he got booed in the stadium. Chuy, did you hear any boos when he came in?
No, not at all.
I love that. And so, homecoming. You didn't get the win, but have your moment. This is good. It's good that his family probably want to go see him too, and that's always cool seeing family and stuff. Chuy, do you have a next standing?
Yeah, I'll. I can't give it to somebody just for showing up, right? I can't. Um, but I'll give mine to Cerillo, because once he went in, nothing went in. Right? Same difference, right? All right,
Yeah.
like there was nothing too great, but he was doing his job, and that's probably a guy. He's the guy that's been played all over the place too, right? Like, he's been moved around basically wherever they need him. He's been playing, so he's doing a pretty good job. And I feel like if you weren't gonna put Fagundes starting as a striker, might as well put somebody that's not a striker, because Miguel Berry's not a striker.
How about an extra special next standing to all the G's that traveled out to Austin, including Gyiasi,
Hell yeah.
for going there and being up that early? Because for us, we're still waking up on Saturday morning at 10 a.m.
Hey, man,
It's funny. I woke up in the morning I think like 8, and I was looking at my phone, and I was like, man, those guys out there, it's like 10 a.m. and they're supposed to be in the stadium already. Here I am in bed. So for me to go out there and have to get up that early, like I don't know if I would have been able to
Yeah,
have the energy for it. But Chewy did.
Hell,
Chewy did. So
Chewy had the
big
energy
ups
this
to
time.
everybody that traveled and was at the stadium, cheering the team on because you guys probably showed more energy than the team did.
Yeah, unfortunately. And well, that does it for the awards. The LA Galaxy
oh man, just real quick.
lose. Yes.
Pretty much a lot of us that were up there when Gyiasi went in, a lot of us clapped, right? Like a lot of us were, I'm still happy that Gyiasi is still playing, right? Like he's an icon, right? He's an icon in MLS.
Yeah.
He's an icon for the Galaxy. He was here for some of the best years that the Galaxy has had, right? He's been around the league. I feel he's an icon in MLS, right? He is a player that has been in different teams that has won championships. So that makes it a big deal. So I was happy when he went in. I figured he wasn't gonna do much, but he still has a step or two from time to time, and he was a little impressive in some of the plays. Like, damn it, Galaxy, how do you let that guy just do you like that? But yeah, I mean, we clapped. It's a good thing seeing him. He's an icon here in Southern California and for the Galaxy. So it's always great to see that guy play.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love that. Let's do some questions from Instagram. 310 CLOS. What up? We will bounce back from this, but Vanny still can't win 3 in a row.
Yeah.
That's true.
Can you add that to the list of things? By the way, let's just list them, by the way, so we could do like an exorcismo. All right. Number one, the early start. Right. You
Yes.
said that Galaxy has a history of bad times. Number two, the ref, Victor Garcia. I think I said. I forget his name. Galaxy has never won a game on the road where he's been the head ref.
Victor Riva.
Number three, Galaxy has never won 3 games in a row with Vanny in charge.
Damn.
Number four, Jovelich got hurt before the game started, so
Damn.
he wasn't to be available. Number five, Zavaleta wasn't available. I don't know if you want to add that to the list.
There's a lot of things.
Just a lot of things, right? And also the humidity. I don't know, man.
No
I'm just
excuses.
saying-
No excuses, to be honest. I think the LA Galaxy got beat properly.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, Josh Wolf came in with a plan and executed to perfection.
And you know what? The humidity shouldn't be an excuse. Most of these guys come from places where it's humid as hell. So if they just went club or like club style soccer their whole life, then they don't know what it is, right? But
Bro,
if
I'm
you
from
played
Nicaragua,
outside,
and I hate
shit.
the humidity, man.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either. Humidity is not by
No.
choice, but
But you're a
So, yeah.
pro and you're playing. You're getting a lot of money to play.
that's true. Jay Silvano 27. We need a young and fast center back and someone who can actually play next to Ricky. Summer transfer window. I think a lot of teams are going to make moves. Where the LA Galaxy goes, I'm not sure, but definitely a backup forward. The center back position, would you bring anybody in that position? Because you're going to have Emiro and Jalen by then.
Yeah.
So you would think that by then they'd be able to have some games under their belts together, and maybe the starting center backs from the rest of the season on out from that point.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
no,
that's
not for me.
definitely been addressed. Now you got to start thinking about, and I know it's been a point of contention. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, you should trust in Jovelich, right? Trust in Jovelich." But as you saw what happened today, sometimes people get hurt. Sometimes people get 5 yellows and end up missing the next game, or maybe they get a red card and they won't be available. What's wrong with adding depth to that position? Or if you can upgrade, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that either? If you can find a good, serviceable forward or somebody who maybe has a little bit more experience than Jovic, and you bring them in to either play alongside him or even start ahead of him, that takes some of the pressure off of him, and maybe he can come in as a sub, or maybe they could be interchangeable, and then that gives Bandy a lot more flexibility with his roster. So I'm all for that. What do you think, Brian?
We fucking had it. God damn it.
That's exactly what I was going to go with.
Yeah.
We had a Billy Sharp. I think Well, I think this is another opportunity for the LA Galaxy to bring a player of that type because that would really help Dejan Joveljic as well. A little competition is never bad, and I think Joveljic is our starter. People may not like that, but I do, and you could tell in this game that he was desperately missed, even if he quote unquote doesn't really do anything up top. Um, it's a whole different game when Joveljic is in there, and the LA Galaxy plays a little bit faster, believe it or not. So we do miss that guy. All right. Adam DC25. Barry proved he is not the answer Galaxy need. Neil could have started and need a center forward soon. Yeah, we do need a center forward. Anything you think anything else we'd need? Maybe another center mid?
We've always, what's the one thing that we always said, you and Eddie and me and Chuy and even Spenny, what's the thing we always said? We need a cam, a true cam.
There's one player by the name of Kevin De Bruyne. Let's start sprinkling in the hope in there right now. Let's go.
Yeah.
I would love that. That'd be so sick.
Like,
Wouldn't happen, but that'd be pretty cool.
Kevin.
XX Cool J. We're not gonna win every game. Let's just move on to the next. Go Galaxy. Yeah, I think that's the right attitude because the LA Galaxy hasn't played well. It's just this game wasn't theirs. It's okay. It happens. I think next one we'll see because there's missing pieces. And the last one from our Ped Raza 83. Who would you get rid of first? Casares or Yoshida? That's a good one.
I'll take Casares because Yoshida's your captain. And I mean, Casares is coming off an injury, and he's a little fragile right now.
And it's who would you get rid of first, right? Not who would you get rid of now. Just on the long haul. First. Yeah, Casares.
I feel like Casares has more mileage right now.
Seems like it. Yeah, I'll agree. I was thinking about it, but I was thinking about it in the aspect of like now. Not like at one point. So, I mean, either center backs, they're pretty slow, and it showed in this game against Austin. So we just need some youth in that position, and we have it. So hopefully by the end of the year, the two young guys could mesh, and maybe we see a different style of defense.
You know what I'm wondering, Brian?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they had a foot race, who would win between Cáceres, Yoshida, and I'll just say Billy and Miguel Berry.
Damn.
How
long of a foot race, right? Because at that point, stamina comes into play.
You're like, the last one the last one gets Bamba and just like let him run.
Anyway, and that does it for the questions. Thank you to everybody who submitted questions. I know I've been a little off right now, but I promise it's the fever. It's the fever.
Like the team.
Yeah, for real.
Look at that. That's Miguel Berry right there.
That's
right on cue.
Talking smack. All right, guys. Anything else before we leave? I know the other guys lost, but any last thoughts?
Just, you're not going to win them all, obviously, like we stated earlier. This is one of the games that Galaxy was never going to win. I stated as much in the midweek. Not just for all the odds that are stacked against them. It's just sometimes you get a gut feeling, and this is one of them where like they were never going to win. Just like I said, the game against LAFC, I was like, they're not going to win that one. So the next one, it looks winnable on paper. Because Seattle is a roaring dumpster fire right now.
Yeah,
but who knows? A week is a long time for things to change, so we'll see what happens.
And on top of that, you have this quote that you always say, like a cornered animal, will bite back. And so that's where Seattle sits. We are going to do a midweek, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, our buddy up there from Rave Green TV, Cheyenne, is not available this week, but we're still going to be able to bring you guys a midweek preview, so you guys are up to date with everything that's going on with Seattle, and you guys will hear us with our predictions as far as what we expect for that match.
Cool. There it is. Anything else, Chuy, before we leave?
Only that I'm actually pretty happy, pretty okay that the game was in the middle of the day, because there was at least light out. And one of the things, if you haven't been to the Q2 stadium, is whenever they score, the whole fucking
God.
stadium turns green.
Yeah.
All of it. And it pisses me off, honestly, because the whole stadium, dude, they turn on the green lamps and everything goes green. And it's like they're rubbing it in your face that, hey, we just scored. So I was glad that the sun, you know, partial sun was out and the stadium couldn't get turned green.
That's funny. But I think that's it, right? I think we're good.
Yeah,
I
we're
think it's
good.
Mimi's time. I
Yep.
think I need a tea, ginger tea with honey or something. All right, guys. Well, this is another episode of News Across the Galaxy. Stay tuned for the midweek show. And that does it from me, Bryant, Edgar, Gyiasi on the ones and twos. And we'll see you next time. And as always, keep on nagging.
Keep on nagging. Wu-Tang for life.
Keep on nagging.